Saram everyone and welcome to this discussion on Swami, selflessness and happiness. In fact, these three words, Sai, selflessness, happiness defines every institution that is in Bhagwan's fold, isn't it? And today we are here to focus on one stellar institution which has been like a lighthouse for so many service projects all over the world, and this temple of healing completes 31 years this year, the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Prashanti Gram. 31 years of lighting up lives and bringing forth smiles. And we thought we should celebrate this moment, and that's the reason we have gathered here. And if you go back to November 1990, when out of the world Bhagwan announced that he's going to set up a hospital, a super specialty hospital, a tertiary care hospital, which will provide best of the best care to the poorest of the poor, absolutely free of cost, no one believed. And today, 31 years later, it still seems like a dream, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we always strive on positive stories. We want to listen to more positive things. Spending a few minutes with people working in the hospital does make us feel so positive because of the amazing work that Swami has initiated. And as we are going to go through the discussion, you will see Swami has not just initiated it, but Swami continues to do that work through the beautiful instruments that he has gathered in this institution. So better than me and Bishu speaking about it, we have today in the panel two of our senior brothers who are working in the super specialty hospital. We have Dr. Prakash. He's a senior consultant and head of Department of Orthopedics. He joined Swami's hospital in February 2009. His numerous international and national publications and book chapters to his credit. He's a fellow of many prestigious medical institutions in the USA, Italy, France, Singapore, and Australia. I'm not naming the institutions only because I'm scared I'll misspell them. He's a life member of Indian Orthopedic Association, Indian Medical Association, and the Indian Federation of Sports Medicine, among many others. We are very happy to have you, sir.
Thank you.
We also have Brother Kannan. Comes from a family that has dedicated itself to Bhagwan's mission. All of his family, his parents, his brothers, his uncles, all of them who have all served Swami in different institutions. Kannan sir joined the Brindavan campus, I think in the year 1982, if I'm not wrong, for BSc. He went on to do his MBA in Prashanti Nilayam campus. Swami then permitted him to serve him through the Institute of Higher Learning, where he taught computers and programming for a short while. Thereafter, when the Institute of Higher Medical Sciences was set up, he was one of the people who was selected by Swami to set up the information system. And I think 92 December, Swami gave him the opportunity to completely move to the hospital. And it's so heartening. He completes 30 years this December of his service to the institution. So we're very, very glad to have you, sir.
Really
so,
honored,
welcome
to have someone like you who, been a Bhagwan student and entire life you have served Bhagwan. Really grateful to Swami for, sending you to the studios, and to you, sir. Really, such huge inspirations you are.
Absolutely, and as we were saying, just the time we spent in discussing for the program made us feel so positive and uplifted. So we'll start with Dr. Prakash. We all have a certain plan in our life.
Yes.
But then Swami steps in and changes it in a way that we couldn't have imagined.
Yes.
So we would like to hear your story, sir.
Yeah, Sairam everyone. See, brother, I belong to a Sai devotee family. My parents used to come here as Sevadals. So after completion of my Masters in Orthopedics, I worked for 5 years in Delhi, in many corporate sector hospitals. And then I moved to different countries, to different institutes for my fellowships and scholarships. So for a few years, I was moving from one institute to another in different countries to complete my specific trainings in orthopedic subspecialties. And I came back in October 2008. So we decided, okay, we'll go to Puttaparthi for pilgrimage. We came to Puttaparthi. And I had this intense desire to serve in Swami's institute. So I had my CV with me. So I went to Super Specialty Hospital, gave my CV and requested in case there's an opportunity to serve. After about 1.5 months, I got a call from the institute saying that there's a vacancy as a consultant for a consultant in orthopedic department. And I was ecstatic. I came for the interview, and Dr. Sapaya sir, who was the director then, he took my interview. I still remember very well. He asked me, "Doctor, in case you are selected, how long you're going to commit yourself to this institute?" I said, "Sir, I'll consider myself fortunate if I'm selected, and I can definitely contribute 2 years of my life to this institute because I'm coming alone. My family is already settled in Delhi." I said, "Okay, think about it." Fortunately, by Swami's grace, I got selected, and my selection was approved by Swami. So I joined here 9th February 2009. Within a year's time, I made up my mind that yes, this is the institute to work and serve at the same time. And I discussed this with my wife, who was a doctor working in a multi-specialty hospital in Delhi, and also she was in Swami's fold. And she was very encouraging, and she agreed to it. She said yes. So all our family shifted to Puttaparthi. So those 2 years never ended. They never ended, and by Swami's grace, fortunately, we both continue to serve in Swami's divine mission.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful.
Fantastic. Wow. I think this 2 years never ended, or 2 months never ended. We have so many such stories. How Bhagavan has rewritten our destinies, and He continues to write the destiny of not only us, but I think everyone who steps into the hospital, right, isn't it? And I think you have seen how the hospital has brought that transformation. Probably every day as you treat patients and as you see the kind of change that is happening in patients and the kind of new smiles erupting on people's faces. Can you please share some of those stories?
Yeah, absolutely. And see, every day is an experience. Let me tell you, every patient is a story. Every day is an experience. So to quote few, like one of the patient I can quote, I still remember, we feel Swami's presence every day. Let me tell you, especially in operation theatre when we are going through some complication. So many complicated cases will come here. We are going through a complication and we'll just remember Swami. And the things are not going in the right direction. We will see it going in the right direction. It will happen then and there. We feel Him. That's why outside our operation theatre we have written, Sai is the surgeon.
Wow.
We are the instruments. So I can just quote one of that. With so many transformations there, so many. So I'll just quote one patient, Mr. Chotelal Sau. So we have already taken their informed consent and all. So he was an auto rickshaw driver, 48 years old guy, auto rickshaw driver in Bhopal. So he started developing a disease called avascular necrosis of femoral head. Let me explain that it's the lack of blood supply, loss of blood supply to the head of femur. So he developed arthritis in left hip, and then he developed arthritis in the other side as well. So both the hips were arthritic. He was earning 10 to 12,000 rupees a month, the lone breadwinner of the family. So literally his son and daughter used to literally lift him and put him in the, make him seated in the auto rickshaw so that he can drive and come back in the evening, and they would again lift him from the seat and bring him back. So that was the plight of the patient. He visited many centers in Bhopal and surrounding areas. Some centers refused because it was a complicated case, and some centers gave him a quota of 4 to 5 lakhs. So that was he couldn't afford. So he heard about our center. He came here, and we operated on him in 2 stages. We did a bilateral staged hip replacement surgery, and within few months, he was back on his feet. He was back to his activities of daily living, and now he is leading a normal life, just like before, and earning for his family. So that's just one example. A lot of examples like that, and sir would be knowing many more like that.
Absolutely. I think you should touch every patient in the hospital and a story will come out.
Absolutely.
And it's not just patient. I think every employee, every Sevadal, every person. Kanan sir, your most fulfilling moment in the hospital?
Yeah. Actually, I had been quite fortunate to be associated with such a great institution right from its inception.
Yes.
So, as of today, I am nearly completing 30 years of my service here. So many things which happen, means Bhagwan's Leelas, Mahimas, is part of our life there. People call it miracles, but it's part of our life happening there. So I'll come to that. But before that, I want to highlight a few things about the hospital. Every project of Bhagwan has two phases or two parts to it. One is it finally serves humanity at large.
Right.
In our case, it is patients.
Yes.
The second is it also provides an opportunity for devotees around him to participate in this sacred mission. Because this sacred mission, selfless mission, you cannot find anywhere in the world.
Correct.
A super specialty hospital offering free service to people, unheard of in 1991. So much of media and even people who are experts in the field of medical care told that Baba has started a hospital, but we doubt how many years it will go.
Correct.
And today it stands as a monument of his will of selfless love. Actually, Swami came to one of the anniversaries to our hospital, I clearly remember, and he told very clearly that there are people who tell whether this hospital run for more than a year. I am telling you today, be confident, do your selfless work. This hospital run for 1,000 years.
Wow.
That is a declaration which Bhagwan told. Will run for 1,000 years.
Wow.
Be confident, do your selfless work. God is there with you. He also told, never consider what you get as your salary from here as salary. It's not a mere salary. Take it as my prasadam. It's my prasadam which is given to you. I'm not giving it to you as salary. I'm giving it to you as my prasadam, which will be akshaya in your life. You'll never have any dearth or need in your life. And true to that statement, even today, every staff of our hospital is so happy, so fulfilled that whatever they need, the children's education, everything is taken care of by Swami so well. And many of them are so dedicated because of that. So much so, we have so many people who have retired but again continue to work in our hospital, though retired.
They don't want to miss the joy.
They don't want to miss this joy. They feel so nice to contribute to such a sacred purpose. Actually, they're like this. There are staff side, so much of joy and satisfaction is Bhagavan given. Patient side, I'll come to the patient side. I remember a case of CTVS where a lady patient, she had a valve problem. And she was carrying 6-month-old baby in her stomach. She was pregnant. And the valve surgery went through well. And everything was fine. She was in the ICU recovering. Suddenly, one fine morning, they found that the movement of baby has stopped and it is dead.
Oh.
So every staff was sort of very sad. They all prayed to Swami. Swami, we have done our best. Everything is fine. All parameters are medically fine. But suddenly the baby is not responding. So they were upset and they all prayed to Swami. It seems sometime in the evening somewhere when she was sitting in her bed, Swami appeared there.
Oh.
Swami created Vibhuti, gave it to her and said, don't worry, your baby I will take care, you also will be fine. And went off. So like this events which the Bhagwan comes on his own and helps a person somewhere in the hospital. None of us ever informed Swami. But Bhagwan is so aware and so kind that he is aware of every being who is there in the hospital, in every corner of the hospital. So without anybody's prompt, he himself comes and does these things.
Wow.
So such things inspire us.
Wow.
And keeps us going all the way. That is how I think I have completed my 30 years.
Reminded of what former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee had said when he was inaugurating the hospital in Whitefield. This is a very unique hospital. He said, here, dawa bhi milega, dua bhi milega.
Correct.
Right? So that's a perfect, I think, description of the hospital.
Medicine and grace.
Professionally, when you look at medicine,
Correct.
It is a very, very professional and fulfilling experience for anybody part of the system. But at the same time, the patients also get blessed. And to be a doctor witnessing an event like that is a blessing even for the doctor.
Correct.
Exactly.
As much as it is for the patient.
In fact, the hospital's architecture, it's like the two arms.
Yes.
And,
Embracing
and
the
it almost feels like, it's like these two beautiful arms of Bhagwan who is covering the hospital with his love. So nothing can ever go wrong. And that love is what taking care of all the patients. Don't you feel, in some ways that, the patient recovery that you see, or in some ways, it is sometimes very surprising to you, the kind of transformation. You have done something, but as I said, the surgeon cuts, but God heals.
God heals.
Perhaps you would have seen that any number of occasions.
Many times. I mean, so many times, and it's like a routine for us. So then it's an everyday affair. So I'll just tell you, I've been to so many countries, in so many advanced Medicare systems, but nowhere I have witnessed such a Medicare system where a doctor can treat a patient without any financial consideration whatsoever, with love and compassion, and irrespective of caste, creed, culture and religion. So this is unique. This is the uniqueness of the institute. Not only doctors, the nursing staff, the managers, the paramedics, the housekeeping staff, the Sevadal. It's a huge group of dedicated individuals. All are dedicated individuals working towards a common objective. That is providing the best healthcare to the patient. This is what I call as complete, comprehensive, holistic healthcare.
Wow.
So that we witness here. And it's not just that we are treating the patient and patient is immensely benefited, but we get immense satisfaction. So I am from a Sai family since long, and I have been motivated since my childhood. But then I have examples of people who are not Sai devotees, like one of my resident, Dr. Abhishek. He joined 10 years back as a DNB resident. He was not from Sai devotee family, but after his completion of his DNB, he continued to stay here. And now he's a consultant. He has been here for 10 years.
For him also the 2 years never ended.
Never ended. The 3 years never ended. So he is here for 10 years now because he likes the work culture. He likes the Medicare system we are working in.
Wow.
So that's how it works.
As Sir so beautifully said, Bhagwan has said what you get here as salary is prasadam, and that becomes akshay.
Akshay.
So you can't measure, what you are getting in terms of salary, because it is something beyond material measurements.
Yes, absolutely.
Talking about it from the professional point of view, so I think you just made a statement that the medical care is holistic.
Mm-hmm.
So will you be able to explain that a little more
Yes.
clearly to our
listeners?
listeners?
See, holistic healthcare is treating the disease as one. Treating the disease as a whole, but not in parts. So this is a holistic approach. Suppose a patient goes to a hospital. So the patient is in agony. So the patient agony is contributed by 3 components. Mm-hmm. One is the disease per se. The second component is the psychosomatic part, which can contribute up to 30% of patient agony. Oh. And then the third component is the stress the patient is having because of financial implication of the treatment. So the third, in our system, in our Medicare system, this third component is 0. It's free of charge. That component is not there at all. There is no billing department. So patient is free of that. The second component, the psychosomatic component, is taken care by the congenial atmosphere, the congenial environment, and the soothing environment in the hospital and outside the hospital in the place. And the physical part of it is taken care by highly experienced and well-qualified doctors with the latest cutting-edge technology that is available nowadays for treating the patients. So that is the holistic approach we witness here, and it's witnessed nowhere else, believe me.
In fact, as you are narrating about this whole ambience in the hospital, you cannot but think about that beautiful dome, which anybody who enters into that space always feels like, you are in a place which is so charged with such elevating emotions. I mean, I think anybody who goes into that space.
Absolutely.
People should know that entire dome was curated by Swami. Every aspect of it was personally.
And I have spoken to so many patients, who would narrate that, when they look out of the window of the wards, they look at the greenery. And when the nurse comes and the Sevadal comes and serve, that love that is so spontaneous. And I think all of this contributes to that holistic healing. The bhajans that go on in the wards.
The ambience. So when one of my consultant chief in US, so I actually invited him and he came here. And the moment he entered the hospital, he was like, oh my God. And he started taking pictures. I said, sir, you'll have enough time to take pictures. Let's go. But he said, where are the patients? I said, patients are inside. You don't see patients here. You go inside. The inside you saw the patients, the ward. He said, amazing, Prakash. This is not seen in US and you have it here. So, in fact, I'll just quote one, Dr. Catagni, when he came from Italy, we invited him for our conference. So he came here. So he entered the OT. He just looked at the OT like this. He said, Praki, he used to call him Praki, paradise. This is paradise. That's what.
Wow.
So that kind of, people who are already working in such advanced setups, and when they come here, they are just awestruck.
Wow. Awesome. And no wonder, you have so many Chote Lals walking out of the hospital smiling. Tell us more stories, sir.
Yes, as I told you, truly speaking, every single patient in every single department in Swami's hospital is a story worth telling, let me tell you. But to quote few more from our department, there was one patient is tracking in COVID times, patient Anusuya, so 60 years old female. So she was traveling from Orissa, and on, I think, Nasik station, she had a fall. She fractured her hip. So there was no other way but to replace the hip with a special implant. So she visited many centers, and because it was COVID time, many places she was refused. And then they quoted, at few places they quoted very high cost. She could not afford. So she came to our center. So we were still having the COVID protocols in place, and the implant had to come from Mumbai. The courier services were not working. The moment the COVID protocol of courier services were in place, we got the implant from Mumbai, and within the protocol, the hospital was still running. COVID hospital was still running. We operated as an emergency surgery. Within 6 weeks, she was on her feet. Now she is leading an absolutely normal life.
Wow.
So it was a big change for her. Now she was like 1.5 months, she was bedridden almost. And another story like that, a young patient, 25 years old, local guy, I still remember his name, Rizwan from Anandpur. He was working as an IT guy, so he was capable of paying and all that. He was well off. So he was working in Hyderabad. So he developed a pain in one of the foot. So then he went to different centers, and finally it was diagnosed as there was a tumor. There's a big tumor in the foot, and that tumor was locally aggressive. And he was really afraid, and he went to many centers. Many centers refused that this is very aggressive, we cannot operate. Some said that yes, we can operate, and the estimate given was too big. He could pay, but he had no trust. So he was not able to trust those hospitals. So he came to our center, and we operated on him. We removed that tumor, and that defect we filled with his own bone graft taken from one of his bone fibula. So a part of it was taken, used as an autograft. In 3 months' time, with Swami's grace, it healed completely.
Wow.
And I still remember taking his video while running at 8 months. So he's like normal person leading a normal life, no recurrence at all.
Beautiful.
So there are multiple stories like that.
I mean, the perspective that you brought out, sir, here is so eye-opening. Yes, this hospital offers best of best to the poorest of the poor, but it does not mean that only the poor come.
Exactly.
Even the rich come. People who have the means to get operated elsewhere also, they come here because they feel they come to an ambience that they can trust. They feel they can come to an ambience
that
where
whatever will be done will be right. Because see, he was told that this tumor can have malignant transformation correctly. Yes, that tumor could have malignant transformation in future. It was locally aggressive, but he could not trust the treatment protocols and the hospital. So he came here. That was the trust.
I think the beautiful thing is, whenever you look at any institution of Swami, there is a vision, then there is an execution of that vision. But Swami constantly keeps reinforcing that philosophy. Constantly.
Yes.
I think whatever you were telling as an example of a patient, Kannan sir was telling about the instruction that Swami gave, which forms the kind of the foundation of the entire mission.
Exactly.
Right?
Behind such a service, which the hospital renders, are the dedicated staff and also visiting surgeons. Not only staff, we shouldn't say only we are dedicated. Right. People who visit our hospital, they come with so much love and devotion. They contribute so much. And the patient who comes with so much trust.
Yes.
I still very clearly remember there was a very rich patient who had got admitted into the cardiac ward for treatment for cath. So I happened to know him. So I asked him, since you are so rich, why didn't you not go to a super specialty hospital in Bangalore or Mumbai where you are, and you can afford such a beautiful cardiac surgery centers are there. He said, sir, all that is there, sir. But that trust that Swami is with me comes only here.
True.
That is the main reason why he comes here. So we always remember a patient comes here, one, because they cannot afford the medical treatment outside, which is so costly. I remember even today, unfortunately about 2 weeks back, I had a small car accident. So my aunt had a few stitches. When I went to Mysore for stitching, they charged me 75,000 rupees just for that one night stay and 6 stitches.
That's the condition outside.
That is that condition outside. That time, I remembered what a benefit we are giving the patients. It's not a joke. What we are giving is unimaginable.
It cannot be measured.
It cannot be measured. So, the patient comes here due to lack of money. That is one. Second is the total faith in Swami. They have a feeling you come to this hospital and get treated here, I am sure I will be cured.
Swami will take care.
Swami will take care. These are the two major powers behind their healing. So, Bhagavan is, as you rightly put it, surgeon operates, God heals.
God heals.
That really happens in our hospital.
Sir, any instruction that has come from Bhagavan directly, sir, to all the hospital staff?
Actually, Swami once in our interview, which Swami used to grant those days to our staff whenever he has time, like once in 2-3 years, he always calls all of us, gives us an interview, blesses us, and enthuse us to continue the good work we are doing. See, Bhagavan was a beautiful administrator that way. He not only starts a project, he implements the project to perfection, he selects the right people for the project, inspires them continuously. See that they don't slag anywhere. That is how it goes on. So in that interview, Swami, one of our students asked, or one of the staff asked, Swami, because they're all devotees, so they wanted to know from Swami what Swami's instruction can be to do the best seva for him. So they asked Swami, how do we know when you do a work that it is up to your satisfaction? It is good, it is perfect and it is right. How to know? Every time we cannot come to you, but is there any way which I can follow, which I will know? Then Swami said, it's very simple. He said, usually, I'll tell you one more incident which happened little before that. In one of Swami's discourses, Swami told, Krishna was quite close to Pandavas and not so close to Kauravas. God doesn't have differentiation. He never differentiates as these good people or bad people. He just follows Dharma. Where Dharma is, God is. So, Swami told, Pandavas always had God first, world next, themselves last. Whereas Kauravas were always selfish. They had them first, they first. Second was world, last was God. If they got nothing else to do, okay, God. So Swami said these alternatives in their life were so predominant that God automatically chose Dharma, that is Pandavas. So similar example Swami gave for us. He said, in the hospital when you are doing service to the patient, consider 3 things. That is, patient first. Patient is your God. I come to you in the form of the patient. So you make the patient happy, you have made me happy. So patient first, then hospital next. See that always hospital benefits and you contribute to the hospital. You are not drain to the hospital. You don't drain the hospital resources. So hospital next. Third, you last. These 3 principles you follow in your life, I am very happy with what you do. It will always guide you in every situation. So that is how Bhagavan had beautiful directions for his staff in every moment whenever it was asked from him.
From the stories we have heard, I'm sure Swami has been pleased immensely. The number of happy patients they have walked out.
It's such a beautiful mantra, I think, for any decision maker, any staff, any person working in the hospital.
Right.
Patient first, hospital next, and myself last. Wow. In fact, you're talking about patient first. Let me go to the first patient
correct.
of our hospital. But before that, I want to share something that Mr. Jayanta Bose, who was involved in the construction of the hospital, had narrated. So Jayanta Bose, along with his father Brigadier Bose and 2 other engineers, were chosen by Bhagavan when just 5 months were left for this hospital construction. All of us know that the art historian and designer Kreet Klichro did the design, but the execution in month of May was done by these engineers chosen by Bhagavan. And so when the project came to Jayanta Bose and his father, so when they looked at all the drawings and everything, so initially Jayanta Bose thought that by November, if Swami is saying, so in his mind it was by November we will finish the civil work. So that is what he thought, because that looked like probably what is, you know, with a lot of effort also possibly feasible to some extent. But of course, when he realized that Swami said that
coincide with the
heart operation, that was really a shock for him. So and he says, you know, imagine in those days, Puttaparthi, it didn't have a railway station, no communication.
Correct.
The best and the quickest communication with the engineers here and the L&T office, which was there, you know, L&T was the engineering company which was executing in Chennai, was the bus
which was going from Chennai.
Yeah, the bus which was going from Chennai to Puttaparthi. That's the way they used to communicate, because no emails, you know, no internet, nothing in those days, and no roads. I mean, all of us know the airport actually happened because of the hospital, because no other way the equipment could come to the hospital so quick. So I mean, in that scenario, imagine, you know, his predicament. So, and he has to complete this work, and he went to Bhagwan and he said, Swami, you know, this looks very, very improbable. If you want us to do it, I have 2 prayers. If you agree to that, then probably we can try and do something. The first, Swami, if you look at the facade of the hospital, Swami, it is very intricate. You know, there's so much of that stapati work, you know, is very, very elaborate. And the design looks so good on paper, but to execute that, you need those skilled artisans. And to do each pillar, each artisan along with 2-3 other helpers also will need 2-3 days. So, and there are so many pillars, so it's not, you know, practically possible to have such an elaborate facade of the hospital. So if you allow, we'll just simplify it. We'll do some, you know, something which can be more automated sort of a thing, you know. Swami said, you are not going to change anything in the design. Nothing in the facade will change. What is the next prayer? He said, Swami, the floor of the hospital, Swami, you have granite, and it will take so long to get those stones, and you know, it's a huge process putting this marble granite as flooring. So if you are okay, Swami, we will do it with some locally sourced, you know, cheaper stone, so that, you know, it'll be quicker. And anyway, he said, Swami, anyway poor people are going to come. And that is when Swami stopped him, and Swami said, it is because poor people are going to come, that is the reason why I want the granite.
Great. Amazing. Yes.
I want that anyone who steps into this hospital should feel that they have not been treated like this ever before in their lives.
Correct.
They should feel that they have stepped into a palace. I want this hospital to be that kind of a palace. You will not change anything in the hospital.
Not only a palace, it is like a home for the patient. We have, you know, another problem. It is whoever is getting admitted, when he is ready to be discharged, they say, can we stay a few more days?
We don't want to go. Yeah.
Never.
They don't want to leave the hospital because the amount they are cared for, I think they feel so happy, they don't want to go. So as you rightly said, it's correct. Swami wants this to be given to the patients.
Yeah, in fact, we have so many such stories where when you talk to the patients when they are leaving, you know, everybody says this one thing, you know, this much love we have not received. And I don't know if in our homes also, you know, our own relatives and parents could have cared for us in this manner. In fact, this is exactly what, you know, the first patient also says. In fact, the first patient, Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, he was very lucky because, you know, Bhagwan personally came and saw him 2-3 times when he was in the general hospital being ready for the operation, and before the operation. In fact, after the operation, Swami created vibhuti and, you know, placed it on his mouth, and he pinched his cheeks. He has a photograph of this vibhuti mark, you know, on his cheek, and he is so grateful to Bhagwan. And even today he is there. He's 49 years of age, and today he works as a librarian in Anantapur, and we had the opportunity to talk to him. He got operated when he was just 19, and it is Swami's grace that, you know, we could record him. So let's listen to the first-hand experience of Vijay Bhaskar now.
10th క్లాస్కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి నేను చాలా వీక్ అయిపోయినాను. నాకు ఆయాసం వచ్చేది. అందరి పిల్లల మాదిరిగా నేను ఆడేవాడిని కాదు, గెంతేవాడిని కాదు. ఎక్కువగా పరిగెత్తితే ఆయాసం వచ్చి కింద పడిపోయేవాడిని, ముబ్బులు వచ్చి పడిపోయేవాడిని. ఇలాంటి చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ చేయడంతో ఇంకా మా తల్లిదండ్రులు ఒకసారి హాస్పిటల్ తీసుకెళ్దామని హైదరాబాద్ మెడినోవా హాస్పిటల్కి తీసుకెళ్లారు. నాది హార్ట్ ప్రాబ్లము చాలా సివియర్గా ఉందండి అబ్బాయికి, ఇమ్మీడియట్గా ఆపరేషన్ చేయాలా, ఆపరేషన్ చేయకపోతే మీ అబ్బాయి ఇంకా మీకు దక్కడండి అని చెప్పి వాళ్ళు డాక్టర్లు క్లియర్గా చెప్పేశారు. ఆపరేషన్కి ఎంత అవుతుందంటే నియర్లీ 2 to 3 వరకు అవుతుందని చెప్పారు. అప్పట్లోనే 2-3 వరకు అంటే ఇంకా మా పేరెంట్స్ చేతులు ఎత్తేసారు, భగవంతుడి మీద దయ పెట్టారు. జనరల్ హాస్పిటల్లోకి అడ్మిట్ చేసిన తర్వాత జనరల్ హాస్పిటల్లో ఆ రోజు నాకు బాగా గుర్తుకుంది. స్వామి అక్కడ వాకిట్లో నిలబడుకొని నా కళ్ళ చూసినాడు, నన్ను ఆశీర్వదించినాడని నేను అనుకున్నాను. ఆ ఆశీర్వాదమే నన్ను ఫస్ట్ పేషెంట్గా తీసుకొచ్చింది. లేకపోతే నేను ఒక సామాన్య మానవుణ్ణి, మా తల్లిదండ్రులు చాలా పేదవాళ్ళు. ఆయన బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ వల్లే నాకు అంత విఐపీస్ నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి నన్ను ఆశీర్వదించి, నన్ను చూసి, నన్ను పలకరించి, ఆ స్వామి దయ వల్లే నాకు అవన్నీ కలిగినాయి. మత్తు ఇంజక్షన్ ఇంకా టైం అయిపోతుంది, ఆపరేషన్ థియేటర్కి తీసుకెళ్ళాలనే ఇచ్చేశారు. స్వామి వస్తేనే గాబరాతోనే స్వామి వస్తున్నాడు, నా దగ్గరికి స్వామి వస్తున్నాడు అని చెప్పేసి పైకి లేసిపోతుంటే స్వామి నన్ను వద్దు నన్ను పండుకో బంగారు అని చెప్పి నన్ను మంచం మీదనే అట్లే కూర్చోపెట్టి పండబెట్టేసి ఆయన బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ఇప్పించి పంపించారండి. ఆపరేషన్ అయిన తర్వాత 2 రోజుల తర్వాత మరి స్వామి నన్ను పలకరించడానికి వచ్చారు నా దగ్గరికి. అప్పటికే నేను బాగా యాక్టివ్గా లేచి తిరుగుతా అంటే స్వామి నన్ను చూసి చాలా సంతోషపడినాడు. నా భుజం మీద చేసినాడు, నా బుగ్గ గిల్లినాడు, విభూది ఇచ్చినాడు నాకు స్వామి. ఆ రోజు ఆ విభూది ఇచ్చి నా బుగ్గ, నాకు ఫోటోలో స్వామి ఫోటో ఇప్పటికీ ఆ బుగ్గ మీద నాకు ఇచ్చిన ఆ విభూది ఇవన్నీ మరక అట్లే ఉంది. ఆ స్వామి ఆ రోజు నన్ను పిలిపించి చాలా సంతోషపడ్డాడు. లేచి నడుస్తా అంటే నా ఎంట తిప్పుకుని ఆయన ఎంట ఎక్కడ నడుస్తా అంటే ఆయన అంటే నన్ను తీసుకొని నా వెనకాల చేసి నన్ను ముందుకు నడిపించుకుంటూ వచ్చినాడు. అక్కడ హాస్పిటల్లో ఉన్నన్నాళ్ళు నాకు పేరెంట్స్తో కానీ మా వాళ్ళతో కానీ ఎటువంటి అవసరం లేకోకుండా అన్నీ వాళ్ళే చూసుకున్నారు. ఏ అవసరమైనా కూడా నాకు అక్కడ ఫుడ్కి మా ఫుడ్కి చాలా డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంది. నేను కొద్దిగా కారం ఎక్కువ తినేవాడిని. నాకు ఆ ఫుడ్ సహించలేం లేదని చెప్పి ఆ డైటిస్ట్కి చెప్తే నీకు ఏం కావాలో నాన్న చెప్పు నాన్న, నీకు ఏం కావాలో మేము చేసి పెడతామంటే ఇట్లా నాకు శనగిత్తనాల చట్నీ కొద్దిగా కారంగా కావాలంటే నా కోసం పాపము ఆమెకు ఆ శనగిత్తనాల చట్నీ అంటే తెలియకపోతే అక్కడ హాస్పిటల్లో తెలుగు వాళ్ళని పిలిపించి ఎట్లా తయారు చేయాలో కనుక్కొని నా కోసం చేసి పెట్టారండి బాబు వాళ్ళు. అసలు మా ఇంట్లో తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా అడిగిన వెంటనే చేసి పెడతారని చెప్పి కూడా మనం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయము. కానీ వాళ్ళు నేను అడిగిన వెంటనే ఆ రోజే తెచ్చి నాకు తినిపించి, మా ఇంట్లో తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా నోట్లో పెట్టకపోయినా వాళ్ళు నోట్ కింద ఇచ్చి నోట్లో పెట్టి, నాకు వామిటింగ్ వస్తే కూడా పాపం చేతిలో తీసుకొని ఆ సేవలు చిరస్మరణీయం. అసలు ఎటువంటి వాళ్ళు కూడా అటువంటి సేవలు చేసి ఉండరని నేను ఎప్పుడు చూడలేదు.
So that was the first of many patients who would get the blessing of being treated in this hospital. You mentioned Mr. Jayanto Bose, one of the architects. There was another very interesting story that he said, even as doctors, when you were saying that we are only there as instruments and Swami is doing the healing, it is in more than one way if you look at it. So he was saying this, Jayanto Bose, I think on 20th November, at 9 o'clock in the night, there was a knock on his door. Right? They must have had a tireless and sleepless 1 month heading to the inauguration of the hospital. So 9 o'clock he has a knock and he was wondering who it is. He goes out and sees there's a Dutch gentleman who's supposed to be the person in charge of the installations from Philips. So Philips was given this contract of doing the angio cath lab completely. So this Dutch gentleman was there and he said, I just witnessed a miracle. He said, I just witnessed a miracle, I want to show that to you. So he was wondering what happened. So he got dressed and got into the car. They drove. And so the backstory of this gentleman is, so this contract, he was there in Parthi a few months back to execute this. So he saw all the laborers carrying bricks, like how we generally have in India. He said, these people want the most advanced lab, but they still seem to be following all these third world practices in construction. How are they even going to operate these advanced equipment? He thought to himself. So then they went about, they procured the equipment. So when it came, the engineers from the company, they said, we will not even open the crate unless you give us a completely air-conditioned and dust-free environment. Because it's very sensitive. We cannot open it here. We just cannot install it. So then Mr. Bose and all the others said, we don't have that luxury. We will have to do it simultaneously. So one side civil work was happening, one side electrical work was happening, and this installation had to happen. So he said, we literally took Swami's Vibhuti, put it on the crate, and we told the engineers, go ahead and open it. We take the responsibility, meaning we have put the responsibility on Swami. You open it. So that night when they were driving to the hospital, this gentleman was telling all this, and he said, I want to show you. And he brought out the first test which had come out from that equipment they had installed. He said, look at this. I've installed this equipment in every country, advanced country in this world. I have never got a result like this.
Amazing.
He said, this is the gold standard. He said, this is the gold standard. I'm going to keep this with me and try to achieve this, match every other installation to this result.
Amazing.
He said, this is the gold standard. This is the miracle I've witnessed.
Because in an environment which was not dust-free.
Which was not suitable for
Which was
that
not suitable
installation.
at all.
Not suitable at all.
Right. I think that is Swami's doing. That ability of Swami to, when you really look at it, any project, what is important when we think the resources are important. We think the monetary input is important. The people are important. But I think Swami repeatedly tells us through his projects, be it the hospital, the university, or things happening in the media center, the most important investment is that purity and selflessness. I think with that, Swami comes into the picture and the thing changes. But I think one thing that a statement that gentleman was making, it might be a hospital which is so far away from the nearest city, and they were saying that there was no electrical connection that was stable enough to run these equipments. The roads were not good enough. But Swami did not say that we'll have lesser equipment here. He still said, I want the best.
The best cutting edge.
What was being installed in the most advanced hospitals in developed countries was being brought here. And I think that has been a trend all through. Sir, Kannan sir being the part of the information systems, I think you will be able to vouch for that looking at it from the point of view of the information system that is being used, it is one of the best, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, behind this whole service which we render to patients is a very good support of IT which is provided to the hospital. We have a very good software, patient management software, which is web-based, which is accessible from anywhere in the world. That is internet-ready software, which centrally stores not only text data, images from diagnostic instruments, as well as video loops of procedures, which are centrally required nowadays to come to a proper diagnosis of the patient. So this information technology which is installed in our hospital is the latest. The software is called EM, in which all the data, right from patient registration to the OPDs, checkups, labs and diagnostics, radiology, and then admission, then surgery, treatment and discharge. Up to discharge, the whole process, all data is captured centrally into the system. Except for a few papers which are legally mandated by the government and law. Everything is on the system.
Everything's paperless.
Everything is on system and it's paperless. Dr. Prakash is also using it day in and day out.
Absolutely.
So he knows
That's
that.
a boon. Absolutely.
And we also had a study. We wanted to upgrade our system to the latest technologies so that our people get the best benefit. When we studied the market, even today, we didn't find any software coming anywhere near this EM. To the features it provides, to the speed and accessibility, internet readiness, there is no match.
Ease of working.
Ease of working is very, very good. And all this data is stored centrally on servers, which are very periodically upgraded every 7 or 8 years, so that there is no data loss or crash or anything. Swami always tells us, never take a risk when it comes to patient. Every data should be available at your fingertips. So we always have the latest hardware supporting this full software for the patient service.
Wow. To have Bhagwan's chosen instruments like you, chosen doctors like sir, to handle all the sophisticated equipments in the hospital, and such a beautiful combination. And when you think about it, Swami did not restrict it only to treating the patients. When Swami named the institute, Swami called it Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences.
Absolutely.
And I think there was always that research component, there was always that academic component into the hospital. Today we have research programs in the PG programs, the DNB program and many other courses. So from your experience, sir, what is your perspective on the academic work going on in the hospital, at least in your department?
See, we are a highly research-oriented department with a very active, well-organized DNB program. And right from our chairman, Dr. Sundaresh sir, and all our consultants and residents, everybody is involved in some or other research. And we have conducted so many national and international conferences since the inception of the department in 2006. We have also published many papers in national and international journals of repute. And the most important thing and the crux of this research profile of our department are the collaborative projects between our department and the university.
And the university here.
Wow. Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. So our brothers in the university and our our own staff members, they are collaborating in so many different projects.
Wow.
So that is really unique. That is not seen anywhere else, where a university and hospital come together so close. And this was Swami's vision. That we are complementary to each other. We have so many research projects. We have done collaborative research projects. We have already completed. So many are going on and many more to come. To quote few, there was a collaborative research project on cartilage replacement therapy, which was also government approved. And we did our first pilot case, the first cartilage replacement surgery here, where indigenously we cultured the cartilage cells in our own lab. Our brothers in Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, they cultured in our own lab in the hospital. Then we implanted in the operation theatre the same patient. So that was the one project, and that is still ongoing. And then few more research projects are there. One more collaborative research project, the big one, which we have been doing for the last 10 years. And we have given 2 PhD projects on that. That project is on avascular necrosis of femoral head, where the blood supply of the head of the femur is disrupted. It's a crippling disease, debilitating disease of young. So usually those are the breadwinners of the family. So that's very important. It's a social burden. We are working on that. Then there is one more PhD project we have completed on rheumatoid arthritis. That is also a crippling disease, social burden. So we have chosen such subjects which are really important for society and for medical science. And believe me, we have achieved so many novel breakthroughs in these research projects, which we have already published in international journals of repute like Scientific Report in Nature and many more. So these research projects are like a continuum. It's continuing with all our clinical work. It's not that we are doing clinical. So clinical work and the research, those are 2 important components of our department.
2 eyes of every doctor.
Absolutely. And then we are immensely grateful, eternally grateful to Swami and Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust to provide us with such a world-class, well-equipped research facility under one roof, the CRIF. It is indeed a boon for any high world-class research, high-end. I have worked in so many countries. I have never seen a research center like this, a research facility like this. We can do all our experiments just in this CRIF. Most of our experiments we can do in CRIF. That's amazing. So these research projects will eventually, these are basically what our research projects are, from bench to bedside. So these are all bench to bedside research projects for translational, we call it translational research. So that means whatever experiments are done, whatever research is done, can be actually seen, the effect can be seen on the patients. So it's called bench to bedside translational research.
Wow.
So our motto is bench to bedside translational research.
Wow, fantastic. In fact, I remember whenever it comes to research, and when Swami used to speak to the students, he would always emphasize that the research should be towards
socially relevant,
social upliftment and socially relevant. And I think the hospital joining hands with the university is such a fantastic combination.
It's complementary.
Yes.
They also benefit, we also benefit, and it's such a congenial atmosphere that they come to our hospital, we come to university. It's excellent.
The hospital, the institute has the lab and the facilities. The hospital has all the data.
Yes.
Correct, very true.
In the cartilage replacement project, there was a patient about 24 years old from Hindupur who had a cartilage injury, a post-traumatic cartilage injury in his knee, and he was bedridden for about 2.5 months. So he went to many centers and nothing could be offered to him. So he came to us and we did this case as a pilot project in our cartilage replacement therapy. And within 5 months, he was walking normally and even standing on the affected leg, and it just took off so well. So you can watch the clip of the patient himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
मेरा नाम ज़बीउल्लाह है, मैं हिंदूपुर से आया हूँ। मैं ड्राइवर, टाटा एसी का ड्राइवर हूँ। 2014 में मेरे गिर जाके थोड़ा पैर को मार लगा था। मैं कहाँ पे फिरा, हैदराबाद फिरा, अनंतपुर फिरा, हिंदूपुर में पूरा हॉस्पिटल दिखा दिया, लेकिन मेरे को ट्रीटमेंट सीधा नहीं मिला, उसके पैसा खर्चा हुआ। यहाँ पे आपको मैं कितना पैसा खर्चा करा था, उससे 4 ने भी फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ। यहाँ पैसा कुछ भी खर्चा नहीं किया यहाँ की, लेकिन यहाँ ठीक हो गया। आपको मेरे को ऑपरेशन के साल हुआ। स्वामी जी पूरा फैसिलिटी अच्छा रखा है, मेडिसिन अच्छा रखा है, डॉक्टर अच्छा रखा है और नर्स है, जो कुछ भी है यहाँ बहुत दिल से मन से बात करके दिल से बात करके यहाँ काम दिल से कर रहे थे। थोड़ा पैसा लेके कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे। यहाँ तो फ्री, पूरा फ्री करके, खाना भी फ्री, मेडिसिन फ्री, बेड्स फ्री, ऑपरेशन फ्री, हर एक भी फ्री यहाँ पे। यहाँ का फैसिलिटी कहाँ भी नहीं मिलेगा। फ्री होके इतना अच्छा दिख रहेगा तो बहुत ग्रेट। स्वामी जी को कितना भी हैंड्स अप करो बहुत कमी लगेगा।
There are so many things about the hospital that we can definitely talk about. I mean, 31 years and we are trying to cover in some 30-40 minutes. I don't think we can ever do justice. But given that this month is so special for the hospital and we really want to celebrate this month, we have a message from the director of the hospital, Dr. Gurumurthy. Again, someone who served in various hospitals and who always had this passion to serve the needy. Someone who always longed for that chance, and once he got this opportunity, again someone who didn't know much about Swami, and he just joined because he saw the hospital and he saw that free treatment is being provided and knew nothing about Bhagwan, not a devotee per se in that sense. But today he is the director of the hospital and he's such an inspired person, Dr. Gurumurthy. Let's listen to him first.
My past experience was I have to treat a lot of patients in government hospital, those who do not have anything. When they come, I never used to refuse. I admit them, treat them and make them all right and send them. In a similar way, I heard Swami has established this hospital which is free for all, and all challenging patients are coming to this hospital for treatment. So I was very much impressed by the hospital. During the course of my service in Puttaparthi Sai Hospital, in 2020, COVID came and it was a challenging thing. Initially, all of us were afraid of it. Gradually, we reconciled and all the staffs are convinced, and as trustees instructed us that we have to start COVID hospital. We started COVID hospital with 120 bed oxygen and 5 bedded ICU. With adequate treatment of these patients, we have treated 830 patients. It is a heartening experience for us. In the third phase of COVID, produced a lot of problem for us. Oxygen supply was not enough. Every patient required more oxygen than what used to happen in the previous phase, and we were thinking that we are beyond our, management is beyond our control. But gradually, even third phase subsided, and now no COVID problem. Super Specialty Hospital has got one principle established by Swami: all facilities will be adequate and updated, and there is no deficiency. For example, last year we purchased 2 echocardiography machines at the rate of 1 crore each, and they are doing very well for diagnosis of a cardiac problem of any patient in this hospital. Next is this year, because of the COVID problem and oxygen supply deficiency, we have established 90 lakhs worth oxygen generating machine which manufactures about 100 cylinders of oxygen, and the whole hospital is now oxygen sufficient for all our patients of ICU and OT. And our academic aspect is we have got DNP program in cardiac surgery, cardiology, urology, orthopedics, ophthalmology and anesthesia, and all of them are doing well. And recently, last year, we got 2 fellows, gold medal, one in urology and one in cardiology. Swami factor is playing in this hospital very well. Any doctor working in this hospital can understand how after our work is over, Swami plays role in early recovery of all patients. Running an hospital free of charge for 30 years is an achievement, and in coming years, the hospital should continue to upgrade itself and continue to serve the patient and population better for India.
So that was Dr. Gurumurthy, Director, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Prashantigram. Even as we talk about the hospital in Prashantinilayam and the new facilities that have been installed here in the last 1 or 2 years, Dr. Gurumurthy mentioned about the oxygen plant and the kind of test the hospital was put through because of COVID, and how the hospital came out of it by Swami's grace. If you look at the sister institution in Whitefield, this institution also now has a oxygen plant. So a oxygen plant which gives 200 liters per minute of oxygen. So post-COVID, both the hospitals are now self-sufficient in terms of oxygen. And the Whitefield Hospital has updated its CT machine, the MRI machine and their echo machine. Another very important and very beautiful initiative that has started in the last 1 or 2 years in the Whitefield Hospital and now being implemented in Puttaparthi Hospital is this appointment system. Because the hospital is free, you have a lot of patients who want to get treated here, and they gather at the gates of the hospital early in the morning, and we have seen those scenes, people waiting for the hospital gates to open. And in fact, when the hospital started, the crowd was so overwhelming. Slowly we have a waiting list and so on. Today, nobody needs to come to Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield, and wait at the gate. They can book their appointment, whoever he may be. You can book your appointment. So the entry of every patient to the hospital is upon a scheduled date and time. So the arrival of patients is staggered. The entry of the patients, all the patients don't happen at the same time. And given the cost of living which is so high in Bengaluru, this is really a boon for the patients. You come there and you wait. So now people come from Odisha, from West Bengal, from Bihar, from different corners of the country, and today they can walk into the hospital with that appointment slip. And this entire operation has been done again using the best of technologies, the cloud telephony technology. And the sweetest thing about it is completely done by volunteers. The software is done by volunteers, and the whole thing functions like a well-oiled call center. And there are 150 to 200 alumni spouses and Sai youth, so many devotees who have joined, who every day spare time 2-3 hours to answer these calls. So there are nearly 800 calls that are answered every day, and every call, mind you, is monitored, is reviewed, just like any professional call center company works. And they ensure that every patient is spoken to with love, their query is answered. You can go to the website of the hospital, you will find the number right there, and any patient who wants to visit the hospital, you can give them that number, and you can be rest assured that they will get a response. And the other salient thing about this is anybody can join this seva, because this is seva that people can do from their homes. So sitting at your home, if you have 2 hours, 3 hours, and all you have to do is speak softly, speak sweetly.
Correct.
Which is what Swami always told us to do. So if you have that time, you can join. You'll of course go through a training process, and now this appointment system, which is going on so beautifully in the Bangalore hospital, is being implemented in the Puttaparthi hospital.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so that will be another fantastic seva opportunity for people who want to join the hospital and join this beautiful healthcare movement, and at the same time ensure that every patient who gets in touch with Bhagwan's hospital has a reason to smile.
And talking about the other developments that are happening, for those of you who have visited Prashant Nilayam, you'll know that all the main roads around the mandir are being redone. Very interestingly, when we were talking to the engineers, they were saying that it took a little time to take off because they were doing their research to ensure that the best way of concretizing that entire area was done. And they got to know that there was a very important conference in roadworks that was held, where they said that this is the best way of laying any road.
In fact, they had no idea about it.
They had not had any idea of that before. In their research, they came up that this is the best way we can do it, most long-lasting roads. So that is happening, and that has been going on for some time. I think it is nearing completion now. And if you're in Prashant Nilayam now, or you're visiting shortly, you'll see that all the main temples, the Ganesha temple, the Subramanya temple, the Gayatri Mandir, all of that is being repainted now. The Purnachandra Hall, right? When it was built itself, it was, I think, the largest pillarless hall at that time. That is being renovated because those days it used to be built using asbestos roofs. I think now asbestos is removed as a construction material. So it is being redone with Kalzib roofing, which means it is also ready to have solar panels, and the entire energy requirement of the hall will be taken care of by that. Talking about solar panels, we know the convention center, which also has this Kalzib roof, it is almost getting ready. I think the early part of 2023, we'll see the inauguration of the convention center. We're having so many conferences. We've had so many conferences in the past few months by the organization. We're having one this weekend too by the Seva organization. So all such conferences will be hosted in the convention center going forward. So that's a welcome development that you're looking forward to. And so these are the construction work that's happening, and I think early 2023 all of these is going to see completion.
Gearing up for the 100th birthday, I think we will see a completely new Prashant Nilayam.
Yes.
And the other very heartening thing for all of us is the entire ashram and all the Sri Sathya Sai institutions today have gone green, they have gone solar. You know, be it the hospitals, be it the ashram rooms, you have better street lights now. In fact, there is no corner in the ashram which is dark now. And in fact, there are also all the common areas in all the buildings have the alternate light. You know, when power goes, automatically these lights come on. So you will never have any dark patch in any of the ashram buildings, and everything is ashram is green because of its trees, but at the same time it is green because we are using Surya Dev's energy. We are using the energy of the sun. And in fact, Swami also used to talk about how important it is for us to use solar energy, and definitely it's moving in that direction. And as we are talking about the developments in our institution, just to also share with you something very heartening which happened recently. Our school, higher secondary school, which was awarded 7th rank in the Education World India School Ranking. So educationworld.in, it's an independent magazine, and it is a much sought after resource hub for all teachers, educators and the like. And they interviewed nearly 11,000 educators, students, teachers, different people concerned with education, and over 28 cities for doing this survey. And they came up with their own ranking system, and in that scheme of things, our school was ranked as 7th. In fact, our school has been among the top 10 schools for so many years now. And what is really notable here is when it comes to our school, students get only 2 hours every day to study. It is not like any other school where, you know, you have a lot of tuitions and, you know, you have classes, you know, morning till night, whatever it is, because you cannot skip any of the part of the daily routine of the hospital. Students will come to mandir, they will participate in prayers, in sports, in yogasanas, and, you know, in the multifarious cultural activities which is part of the Prashanti calendar. Correct. At the same time, they don't slack when it comes to academics. In fact, the school average in class 12 board exam is an impressive 90.2%. That is the school average for 12th class. And for the first time, the class 10 and class 12 toppers have scored 99% in this year. So, I mean, every year probably if you're listening to the school announcements, it's a reason to clap, and it continues. Definitely there is plenty happening in all the other institutions also, and we plan to, give you an update of such heartening news for all of us from time to time as we go on in these sessions in the coming months.
Right, and the other news, which if you're connected to our social media platform, you will be knowing about, the beautiful Experience Center, Digital Experience Center in Brindavan was inaugurated. The Shri Satya Sai Divya Smriti on November 3rd, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, and it's finally open for devotees. So if you are in Bangalore or if you wish to visit, again, the booking can be done online, sssdivyasmriti.org. We do hope that you'll get to see this beautiful homage that we all have paid to Swami, and of course any such effort is only a humble effort. You can go and see it, Swami's life and message. It would take about 60 to 90 minutes, we believe, for you to go through the whole thing, and we do hope that once you go, you will definitely want to pay another visit. So do visit the Shri Satya Sai Divya Smriti in the Brindavan Ashram. It is right in front of the Sai Ramesh Hall. So that is again another happy thing. We've had so many months of effort going into that, and it gives us a lot of fulfillment to finally see that being available to all you devotees.
And that is our 97th Shri Satya Sai Media Center's 97th birthday offering to Bhagwan. And as Prem said, if anyone wants to know about Swami, very difficult for any of us to also tell people who is Swami. Now we can tell. If you are in India, please visit Bangalore. If you're in Bangalore, if you have a few minutes, it might take you 60 to 90 minutes if you want to see the entire thing. But it's up to you. You can spend 10 minutes, you can spend 15 minutes, you can spend 2 hours. But the person can discover for himself who is Swami. And again, it is done in the best of modern technologies available. It's all multi-dimensional screens and projectors and touch sensors and audio guides, personalized audio guides in different languages.
4 languages.
So you go and explore and give us feedback, because we need to do a lot more to share his love and message. So dear viewers, it is really a joy for us having this session and sharing with you all these lovely moments that are happening in Bhagwan's institutions, and we do hope that we will keep meeting often. Next month is the occasion when Bhagwan gave the students the Shri Satya Sai Hostel. Every Christmas we have the hostel celebrating its birthday. So definitely we want to join once again with all of you and tell you what's happening in the university. Today you got a glimpse of the research, but there's a lot more happening in the university and plenty of colorful things happening in the hostel. And that's a huge, beautiful world by itself, and we'll try to give you a sneak peek of that in the discussion that we will do next month. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Kannan sir. And we offer this little homage to Bhagwan in this month of November as we celebrate Bhagwan's birthday, and pray that we continue to be his instruments, that he guides us, and there is no better way for us to offer ourselves to him than work for him and live his message. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.